Okay, so we've identified people's hurdles, and we want to help them move past those hurdles. So there's actually a passage that addresses each one of these. And it's a passage we use a lot when training disciples and disciple makers. It's 2 Corinthians 5, 14 through 21. And it really does address each one of these hurdles. Verse 14 says, "For Christ's love compels us. For we are convinced that one died for all, and therefore all died. And he died for all, that those who live should no longer live for themselves, but for him who died for them and was raised again." So this really addresses the heart. What is it that compels us? Well, it's Christ's love. And so if someone's hurdle is the heart, it's either a rebellious heart, in which case they need to look to the gospel and either be converted or remember how important it is that Christ saved them and they can live for others and not for themselves. Or if the heart is the hurdle, it may not be a rebellious heart, it may be a broken heart. And as you ask more about this, they may say, well, I just lost a family member and I'm just really torn up. Okay, well now this shifts into a shepherding opportunity. And so this is really important to recognize it may not always be a rebellious heart. Well, look at this. Verse 16 addresses the mind. It addresses how conscious we are, because verse 16 says, "Therefore we no longer regard anyone according to the flesh. Though we once regarded Christ in this way, we do so no longer." Okay, so check this out. Paul recognized that he looked at someone just as flesh and bone, and he was completely wrong. Who was that? That was Jesus. And Paul was wrong. Too often we look at people just as flesh and bone, and we are completely wrong. These are people made in God's image for God's glory, who Christ died for. So this verse really helps us address this. And then verse 17 through 21 really addresses our confidence, because we have been made a new creation. God has given us a ministry of reconciliation. He's even given us the message of reconciliation. And the message is in verse 21. And then in verse 20, the identity piece, God has made us ambassadors. You can have confidence not because you've earned it, but because God has made you an ambassador. Okay? And so these truths really address the confidence. As far as tools, here, I think the oikos map is a great tool to help someone become more conscious of the opportunities and the people around them. And then I think there's lots of tools that help address this. Transitions, 3 circles, the gospel responses, red, yellow, green light, lots of tools that can help people increase their confidence. And the 411, of course, will address all of this. So if you want to develop this even further, here's a way to take a Bible passage and address each of these hurdles.